Hello everyone, this is Paula, and I am here today to work on my second tag. Now, this is a tag challenge that Ann Brooke Textile Artist on YouTube has challenged everyone to make 52 tags this year, and we're doing, like, I believe, one a week. And I'm a little behind, so I'm trying to catch up. Today is the prompt was to use a heart on your tag. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, you can still join in. Just go to Ann's channel, and she'll give you all the prompts and so forth. Go to her challenge at the very beginning with tag 1. And when you're through with your tag, you will want to go to your Instagram and post your photos here. Okay? And go see all the wonderful tags that have been made already. So let's get busy. I don't have much time. This morning, I did sit last night and do the stitching around my heart. Now, I just took and cut a heart, or folded a paper in half and trimmed around and made the heart the size I wanted for my tag. Okay. And then I pinned some fabrics together and just kind of made sure they fit my tag. And some of it's going to wrap around. So let me show you. My heart is a rooster. And I put a little bit of this batting inside. And I stitched around with a blanket stitch right here in red trim. I may go back and do some things here to kind of make it look a little puckered, but I'm not worrying with that right now. And this is the fabric I used. I got this at Ooh La La Crafts on Etsy, and I got a vintage piece of rickrack. It's really old, and I strung some buttons onto this safety pin. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure that's gonna cooperate. And I am using this DMC 20. It's kind of a I don't know what color this is. It doesn't say the color on here, but it's oh, it's the Urca. Okay. All right. So it was hard to thread it. This was the only needle I had upstairs to actually use. So when this runs out, if I can't get my thread, to behave, I will have to stop at that point and do it in the evening. And I will probably anyway. I'm going to do a running stitch, but first I just realized I went in too far. So I'm going to do one back stitch right here. And of course, the whole time I sew, I feel like, now this, I did thread a lot on here because of the needle hole being so tiny compared to the trim, or the thread, I mean. Let's see if I can get it unhooked. Don't want to have to start over. There we go. Just have to kind of go slow to, when you have a mile long. I don't recommend a mile long thread, but, Okay, I'm not paying attention to the spaces between the running stitches because, yes, I have my needle in my mouth. That's a no-no. I wouldn't recommend that. But I had to do something. You only have two hands, right? So keep stitching here. And I'm just going to do a running stitch, and then I'll attach this to my, it'd help if I just do a running stitch instead of doing one at a time. That might, I was afraid it might get tangled, so I'm trying to see here. Okay, now, I didn't tea stain my chicken fabric. I just didn't have time, but it probably would have looked a little bit better. But I kind of thought it would look nice with some brightness, and then get over here to the ticking and have it tea stained. So, just have to go slow. So I'm going to do a couple stitches at a time. I think it can tolerate that. But I'm going to do kind of, not tiny ones. I'm going to kind of do some big ones. Now, like I said, I won't get this done on this video because it's going to take too long. But I wanted to let you see where I was starting. Watch me do a little bit of stitching and show you what I was going to do. And then when it's ready, I'll show it in the video when I do tag 3. And then you can decide what you think. I am going to do more than one stitch. I'm trying to keep my hands back so you can see. It's hard to sew, and let me get this one needle out of the way, or straight pin, I mean. Just kind of lay it down, make sure my thread is straight since it's so long. Yeah, that's better, huh? It's not perfect. I didn't want it to be. Just going for just an old straight stitch. I don't care if it's perfectly straight. You know, just simple, easy stitch. Okay, now straighten that out a little bit. Of course, I have a little tiny knot right here. There we go. It's easier to do one strand than to try to do 2, because I tried that on my first tag, drove me crazy. Just because I thought it might make it easier, but it actually made it harder. So I'm just using one strand of this thicker DMC. You can get it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's or any place that sells stitching supplies. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in camera too. Hope you guys have had a great day. It's a beautiful day here today in Branson. Sun is shining. It's just really nice out today. I wish it would stay like that all winter, don't you? You can pull easier with it facing this direction. And there it goes. It gets tied every time. That's what happens when you use too long a thread. That's okay. I at least am getting to finish it because I have enough thread, right? Okay. And when I'm done with this part, I'm going to stitch around the edges as best I can, or as much as I can. I use some Scotch tape to help hold the two pieces together, and that seemed to make it a little bit easier. Get rid of all those straight pins so I can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Yippee! I got it on there. What can I say? Okay, so I'm thinking, what do I want to do? I want the ends to be kind of ragged looking. So I think what I'm going to do is just start right here and work my way around. And I am still going to do, I'm trying to decide if I want to do a running stitch or a back stitch. I think the running stitch might go faster, and I don't have to worry about my thread as much. So I'm just going to come back up here on this little bitty edge, if I can get it to hook. I don't think she introduced any new stitches this time. I think she will next time, maybe. I can't remember from time to time. This fabric's much easier to work with than the other, or where I connected them right there with. There we go. And when you do that, you want to make sure your thread is straightened out. This is really a fun project if you've not ever done a challenge. This is my first one with any kind of sewing. Now I'm going to turn and go the other direction. Okay. And again, I'm not too concerned about being straight. Okay, this is not about perfection to me. It's just about getting my tag made and following as many of the prompts as I can. Just keep it straight as you go. There has been some really, really cool tags out there. You need to go check them out, even if you don't end up in the competition, or not competition, it's not a competition. I meant challenge. Even if you don't end up in the challenge, it's a lot of fun to see what different people do. And I feel like we learn by watching what other people do. I don't stitch that often. I have done a lot of cross stitch and embroidery, but not as much embroidery as I feel is necessary to call yourself a an experienced stitcher. I've hemmed a few things, put on buttons on a few things, and so forth, but, you know, I made a couple things on the sewing machine. Made a couple little outfits for my son when he was little, and now they're vintage, so he thinks that's really cool. So both his sons wore them also. They were like little patent leather outfits. They were so cute. Little cowboy style jacket, and then little pants. They were so cute. I made two. One was for Christmas, so it was done in greens and reds. Not anything crazy, just greens and reds. And then one was navy and light blue and white. So it was super cute on them. Okay, we're up at the corner here. Now I'm really gonna straighten this out. Make sure it's lying like it's supposed to. Trying to get it as flat as I can. I'm sorry, I have to concentrate when I do stitching. It's hard to not concentrate. And it's hard to talk. The first challenge was using all white. It almost looks like a bridal style. And use fabric and lace and a few different things. I think if you keep it pulled taut during this time, it will, while you're stitching, you'll be happier in the long run. It would be awesome if this goes all the way around. That tells you I did put a lot of thread on there. I don't know if you guys have gone and watched Anne's channel, but she's quite a seamstress. Or hand stitching. I haven't seen her sew anything on the machine or anything, but she definitely knows how to do hand stitching. And she's done quite a few challenges. I wish I'd been involved in those at the time, but, you know, I haven't set out to look for any. And I guess you really just have to fall upon them. I don't know how that all works, but I know that she's talented. You want to pull it every time you take a stitch because, you know, it's going to gather. This is going along lots easier than I thought it would. I could not have done this and stitched the heart at the same time. There we go. Loosen that out. I just stuck this fabric on my tag and just kind of laid it down, wrapped it around, and cut it around the edges of the tag. Just going to continue the running stitch. It's the fastest, and I feel like I got too much on this one to do that. I need to do the running stitch. So I'm in the process of working on a Valentine journal. I'm only going to be able to do the one, but it is really going to be cute. And it's already bound, and I did show you guys some of it, I believe. If not, I will in my next video. Well, in an upcoming video. I don't know what order it's in. My husband, I give them to him, and he gets them done for me, which is a blessing. Otherwise, I'm so slow, I wouldn't have gotten any videos done. We're getting there. We're not far from being done. So that's always nice. I used a 6 by, let's see, what is the size of this tag? I'll have to measure it here in a minute. Some of them are using larger, some are using very small. So it's whatever you want to use. I want to say the smallest is maybe 2 by 3. Yeah, and then we're putting it on a ring, just like a binder ring. I'll show you. This is tag number 1 for me. And then I've got 52 tags on this ugly yellow ring. Hey, it's the biggest one I had. So that's good, right? Okay, now we're getting close. We just got to go around the corner here, and then we'll have the stitching on this portion done. And then we just need to get this attached to the tag, which I have stitched everything, and my plan is to just glue it onto the tag. It's very hard to stitch through the tag, but yeah. It's, you know, you can do it, but it will take some time. And I think it would be rough on the tag. You know, it would be weaker with all the holes in it. Got a little snag going on here. Get all the way to the end. Isn't that how it goes? Let's see if I have a knot or what. Nope, I think I just pulled it out. That was good. That worked out. Can't believe I've gone this far and haven't had to yet, actually. Haven't had to pull anything out so far. Okay, we gotta sew from here to here. And then we will attach it to our tag. So it's kind of a crafting as well as a stitching tag. You know, you're going to use mostly stitching, but what I've seen done is stitching and attaching to the card, or the tag, I mean. And yeah. Went a little crooked there, and that's okay. Not concerned. All right. I see the end coming. Get my fingers working here. This is the last stitch, and then I'll take it down to the back of the fabric. Okay. I'm gonna hold it up and let you see where we're at here. And I'm just gonna go straight back down here. All right, now my suggestion at this point is to tie this portion off before you move on to the next portion. So go ahead and make a knot in the back and cut your thread loose. So I'm just flipping it over and going under a stitch and not pulling. Try not to pull because you don't want it to affect your stitching on the outside. And it just still, every time it wants to try to knot. I do not know what I do wrong. Okay, there we go. There's the first one. And I would do 2 to secure the fabric nicely. Let me see if that's pulling too much. You could iron it if you wanted. This is definitely not something that is like, you know, something to spend a lot of ironing on, but I'm sure some people will iron, but I'm trying to use stuff that doesn't need to be ironed. Okay, last little knot here. Let's make sure. And now, we're We're going to attach it to our tag. Okay, now I just kind of laid this fabric on here. Didn't give a lot of thought to what I was really going to do. And I did like that it had this ragged edge and that it was the right height. That can count for a lot, can't it? And what I am going to do now that I've got it stitched, I'm just going to add a little bit of Fabri-Tac and stitch it down so that we can get our, make sure everything's up here right. Oh, that's a little high. I'm glad I looked. Okay. Want to make sure your corners are covered right here. I think it will make a difference. There we go, right there. So I think what I'm going to do is glue up on the top first. That way we know that we've got it where it needs to be. Because the stitching, as far as the stitching goes here on the top, we're done with that, so we don't have to worry about going through the glue. Let's make sure we've got this, has a little bit of a gathering right there. Just want to make sure it's nice and straight. Get it all pulled to one side. And again, I'm just doing the top right now. Make sure that's down like we want it. Now, I want to be able to stitch. I'm going to put like a little strip down the center. I want to be able to stitch. Now, just so you know, you don't want to put heavy glue, okay? Because that could be a problem when you're stitching on your heart. You don't want a lot of heavy glue interfering. So I'm just going to put it straight down on this side and pull to this side. I don't know if that's the best way to do it, but I'm going to do it that way. You just want to make sure your tag is covered. And now if you wanted, you could stitch to your tag, but I just didn't want to mess with that. I probably won't do that. My fingers have a hard enough time as it is. So you want to just keep pushing that way, making sure everything is down nicely. And then we're going to come around this corner. You can see that everything is inside the fabric. So that's good. Now I am going to put a little bit of glue right here to keep this edge, to keep it down. And then we'll go around this right here, right around the edges. It's easier for me to do it like that than to try and put it on the card in the right spot. Okay, now I'm just going to roll this up and roll it over. Now we want to make sure all of our lines are straight. And I'm talking about on this stripe. Fun. I like that it has the stitching all the way around to the back where we're going to put our quote. I have not picked out my quote yet, but I have a feeling it'll have something to do with either a heart or a rooster. Okay, there we go. It's kind of shaggy right here, which I like. And so now I'm going to leave this right now, let it dry. But we want to decide where we're going to put our rooster. I want to put him where we can still see the other chickens. Okay, at least a couple of them. And we're going to put him right in here. Now, any stitching on him has to happen now. Okay, so I was thinking that I would do a few, not a whole lot, of, and this is, oops, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to hit you. This is something my mom used to do when she would do quilts. She would just stitch, come up through them like this, okay? No knot on the thread. No, my table looks horrible, I'm sorry. No knot on the thread. You just have to go up. Let's try this again. You go down and then up. So you go down. I'm sure there's an easier way to do it, but this is how I'm going to do it. And then you just go back up. You don't want the threads to be too far apart because they'll pucker your heart. And you just bring it down far enough. What did I do? Yeah, that's not right either. What am I doing? Let me start this over. Let me pull it out real quick. There, it just got hung in there. Okay, you just want to leave your thread long enough to make a double knot right here. Now you can, this used to be called, I believe, ticking or tacking or something like that. And you double tie it. And it leaves a little bit of an old-fashioned quilt look. Because back in the day, my mom said they, you know, people who didn't have sewing machines would do it this way. They'd hand stitch everything else. And they wanted to make sure everything stayed together. I guess that's what it was for. I'm no quilter, but my mom did a good job. She just did the type of quilt you need to actually live and sleep with. She didn't do decorative things. Usually they were like square boxes or triangles or something like that. And then you're just going to pull both strings and just cut them real short like that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm going to do the next one. You separate them. You don't do a whole bunch. Just going to do one here. And you don't want to cover his face. Go down as short as you want it. Then flip it over and just put one close by. Let's see what it's going to do here. And you're probably better off just to clip it, pull it even, and then tie it. We'll see. And there is a little bit of waste of thread here, but that's okay. I always have thread around here. And then I need to check our time. Make sure we're okay. We can finish this part up and glue our chicken on at least. So I'm not going to put it on his face, so I'm going to come up higher because I don't want it on his face. I didn't put a lot of, did that backwards. I didn't put a lot of stuffing in him, just one row. Because I wanted it to be where if I ever do a farm book or something, I can use this in the book. Although the buttons make up for it. Keep them as close together, your stitches as close together without coming right back through the same hole. Okay, let's see. I've got to have a drink, excuse me. It's hard to talk when you're thirsty. So I'm going to tie these. I did get these a little short, but we'll get it done. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but off the top of my head, I can't remember. It's not like I've done it a whole lot in a long time. I made a few journals doing this, and I thought they looked cute. 2 Christmas journals, I believe. Had little snowmen, and I thought, well, it can mimic snow, see? And yeah. If you get these longer than you want, you just go back over here and trim a little bit more off. And yeah, let's do this. Let's do one right here. And again, I'm trying to go through the back instead of the front. I was up early this morning. The sunrise was beautiful. Up over the mountains, you know. If you want to call them, they're Ozark Mountains, so they're not like Colorado mountains. They're really just babies. But we're at a high peak, and I think that's probably what made it so pretty. It's there every morning when the sun is going to shine. Well, it's there every morning. You know what I mean. It's every blue and yellow you could imagine. It's not blue, orange and yellow. I'm going to quit talking now. It's a mumbly day for me. I'm trying to get these little short threads. I could have done this a whole lot faster probably, but that's all right. Get it tied around here. Okay. Come on. There we go. Ah, mercy. That is not easy when you got crazy fingers. Okay, there we go. And so you can pull them together. Once you get a routine going with this, and when you don't worry about saving thread, I'm just trying to not have to thread my needle again, because this is a thicker version of thread. Now, let's get this done here. Let's try to do this one. I think 2 more. And that will work great. What am I doing? I'm going up from the bottom instead of down right here. I think I'm just going to have enough for two more. made this one a little longer, so maybe I can tie it quicker. Okay, one more. Got that one a little long. Let's cut it a little shorter. All right, and this time we're going to start from the top where we're supposed to start. We're going to go right through there and back up right next to that thread. And you want to hang on to the other side of the thread because it will come out if you don't. And we're going to double tie it or double knot it. And okay, here we go. All right, now there we go. Woo! I think all our stitching is almost done, except we have rickrack to do. So he's going to go right here. How cute is he? He's a cute little guy. What is the deal? I guess that one did not get tied. Well, how did that happen? That's weird. Okay, let me get just a little bit of thread here. And maybe I can get it on here. We'll see. This needle has a little bit bigger head. All my needles and all my stitching stuff is downstairs, and twice I have forgot to bring it up here to do this video. And so this time I decided I'm not gonna not do the video because come on. Little bit. Now watch this not happen. Ooh, that's what you say when you want it to happen. Okay, I'm going to take that out. I don't know how that came untied. Maybe I just forgot to tie it like an old lady forgets things, right? Okay, so we're going to go back down right here. Oh, no, down's what we're supposed to do. See, we're learning together. And then back up. There we go. Now, if you want, some people just tie around it and stitch through it like this. But I don't generally do that because I feel like it gets in a knot a whole lot easier that way. So, but if you still have young, healthy fingers, you probably could do it like that. Okay, there. Now I can say ta-da. All right. All right, now let's get back to it because we don't have much time. So we're going to put him down where we can see at least two of the other little chickens or hens or whatever they are, roosters. I am not a farmer. But we have wild turkeys where we live. You know, I've told you we've had deer. We've had, you know, a little of this and a little of that. I'm going to go ahead and glue him down. And I'm just going to glue him in the middle. The reason I don't want like, I'm just going to do like this. I meant like around in the middle. Does that make sense? I don't want him to have glue all the way out. So that was a little more than I wanted right there. All right. We're going to stick him down right here as far down as we can. And still, man, that heart just barely fit on there, didn't it? He's got a little puff to him, not a lot. There we go. Now, I will stitch this on, not on camera, but this is how that will look. And then down here, I have it's a big one with 3 buttons on it, and I don't know how I want to put it in there, but I'm going to try to figure out the best way to do that. Oh my goodness, let's see. Do I want it on this side or that side, or I'm just going to stick it through the thread, through the fabric. And I think it might be better if we try doing it upside down. Now, you heard me say the try word, right? It seems to want to lay down better that way, but let's try it and see. I probably could have turned it around, but I'm not going to mess with changing it now. Let me see if I can get that in there. And see, they can go, I'm just kind of flipping it in, and you can kind of separate them a little bit. I wanted it to be bigger. For one thing, I wanted it to kind of spread down a little bit, and I wanted it to be wonky. And so I guess it is. Now, I will stitch this, and then I'll put my quote on the back, and there you go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. It is a rooster and some roosters. So, you guys need to look at the challenge and decide if you would like to do it. It's not too late. I don't know how long she's going to accept people in, but this hashtag 52 tags, home, handmade. See how she did that? That's cool. So you'll go over to this hashtag and you'll look at the other tags. They're over there. And it is Anna Brooke, textile artist. Sew for the soul. All right. There you go. All right, guys. I hope you had fun today. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.